But yeah, no delay this time around, but it's all good because you can just always open up your phone and just open up a game after this.
True.
As you're cooking, Rafa, as you're cooking. I'm ready for the pictures, by the way.
Oh, don't worry. I'll send them your way. I'll send them towards the prods way as well. Completely different side topic. But for Baguettes, they've already eliminated a couple champions from the jungle in Italy and the boss being taken off the board. Potentially a Braum just to stifle what Salo could play from the support role. Next Generation just returning to some of the same bans from first game. Aatrox and Aurora taken off the table. Maybe another Akali ban from random.
Yeah, Akali could be an interesting option. Kind of, again, gives you that AP damage source as well. But no, it's going to be the Lucian. So again, just comfort picks really being banned over here. But like I said, I think it's not just Finalizing. There's also these other players as well that have so many tools up their sleeves and so many picks that they can go for as well, including that Xayah. At least I get my girl. You might not get your girl, Rafa. But okay. Well, I spoke too soon. Oh well.
Get shit on. Sorry. Sorry, I just had to. I had to squeeze
I
it in there.
spoke too soon. What is this?
Yeah. Nautilus secured for Baguettes. That'll be a powerful tool for Hest. Depth Charge, always a great and reliable way to lock down one priority target. But Rel is open, and Next Generation will waste no time in securing that for themselves. Powerful AoE engage tool. And before more jungle bans can hit the table from Baguette, they are just going to secure, more than likely, it's yet to be locked in, but I imagine you should go for the Viego and give your jungler the best chances for success going into this game too.
Interesting. Oh, what else does that leave open then for the jungle pool? I'm trying to think of other champions. So Aatrox is banned. Riven could be another option. That Shyvana is also open, which we saw Finalizing Pyla in the previous series and was banned in game number 1 by Next Generation. Oh, we still get a Xayah anyway. We still get it locked in. Unlucky, Rafa. We still get the Xayah locked in. But yeah, the Nautilus is not the Camille this time, but still very, very powerful bot lane duo. We've been seeing Nautilus and just the engaged tools that you have with Nautilus and the ease of access, the easy engaged tools that you have. And then you pair that also with the Rumble as well. Going to be potentially knocked in here for Baguettes. Yeah. Locked in straight away here for the side of Baguettes. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the side already of Baguettes, and I'm seeing so many powerful picks. And this is what happens when you see teams before pick champions like Lucian and Aurora. It's great to ban them because you know how well that they can perform on them. But again, you just leave so many of these other power picks open, like the Nautilus, like the Rumble as well. So you're not banning them, you're not picking them up for yourselves. And you're just giving them over for free.
For free, baby. I think it was a good call to make sure that the Rumble was separated from that Rel, because Magnet Storm is a great way to guarantee an equalizer right on top of multiple carries stuck together thanks to Rel's initiation tools. Fiora is going to be banned, denying that away from Random, since Dandelion can easily take the Rumble for himself, and then Random would have been given a powerful split pusher. Nocturne also taken down from the available options for Final Wax in this second game of the series. I think for Next Generation, they have to look at strong solo laners that can contend with a Rumble in the side lane and whatever Random wants to pilot as well, if it's not Rumble for Random, which is why Baguette is taking out the Assassin in this Akali, maybe a Rise if you want to get rid of another control mage that has split push opportunities. Boom, there you go.
That's going to be another option. And now you have to think now, what's the answer here for Next Generation? What are they going to answer with the composition, as you mentioned, with the Rumble just being such a strong side laner? What do you match into that? It looks like it's going to be the Renekton as one of the choices. Of course, they are on red sides. They still have the final choice of their solo laners. They can see what Baguettes round out their composition with, but Renekton already very aggressive, can obviously do very well against Rumble with the shielding. Yone going to be coming out here potentially for Random, and is Wow, Final Wax is going to be playing Jarvan. This is a completely different play style for Final Wax that I have not seen in a very long time. And we've seen, oh, and a Running Soul locked in. Okay.
Space Dragon!
This is a spicy draft. Okay, so Final Wax is not piloting the carry jungle this time. He's being more of a supportive pick with this jungle, which I think is, like I mentioned, just a very different play style that we're not used to seeing for Final Wax. It's going to be interesting to see how he pilots this Java and if he still plays as aggressively as some of these other champions.
Stuart, I'm just excited to see an Aurelion Soul in 2025, baby. Oh my goodness. There was a time where Aurelion Soul, before the rework, used to be someone that you only saw once in a blue moon. And then even after the rework, I just cannot recall if Aurelion Soul was strong enough to be seen that often. So I'm a big fan of seeing some new champions hit the rift, and this is going to have to be one that gives Next Generation the big edge in giving us a potential 3-game series for the finals. Otherwise, this is going to be a Baguette sweep.
Can they sweep the entire...
Yo?
I'm just going to pretend like I didn't see that.
You know what? Hest is getting spicy with it. Just wanted to see if he could, like, get a... I don't even know. Once again, I would not be a good lawyer in defending someone else's case. I was really struggling to find the reasoning behind Hest with the flash forward. I guess he was trying to see if he could scare Fura into doing flash for flash, but Fura held his ground, and now Hest is just down 2 summoner spells for practically nothing.
It's kind of what you could do sometimes with Nautilus is when you play super aggressive, you can just flash forward and auto attack, and you just have so much crowd control at your disposal. Because if you can flash and land that auto attack onto a carry, you can just hook afterwards, you can slow with your third ability, and you pretty much guarantee a kill. But also, normally the flash happens when you have Hex Flash as your second option, because you can still use a Hex Flash later on to either play aggressively or play a little bit more defensively. But excuse me, you can see he doesn't have Hex Flash, so he was just flashing forward for fun, I guess, and trying to get an opening, which he unfortunately wasn't able to find.
Yeah, don't worry, Hest. We'll let you cook, brother. We saw the Camille support. It definitely surprised us on the desk, and it caught Stuart off guard for the first minute and a half of the game, and he slowly became a believer. And you know, that flash is going to come back up in the next 30 seconds or so it'll just be like it never happened, as we are hitting the 3-minute mark soon. Relatively nothing too exciting has happened on the rift. It has just been power farming from both sides, which does play into the hands of Next Generation, since this Aurelion Soul, the longer time he gets to scale up on the map, it's gonna be great. Dandelion should be fine walking away. Yami was trying to get feisty with that Dominus.
You can see that he can obviously break the shields of Rumble, and he can play very aggressive early on. Surprisingly, going for the plated steel caps kind of makes me feel like he doesn't really want to win the lane too much, and he doesn't want to prioritize too much about winning the lane. Instead, he's prioritizing in team fights and everything else, as well as
boy,
Viego
in a world of trouble. And that is his fate sealed by random, as Heaven is forced to flash away from the Dredge line, but Final Wax wants to put this Space Dragon in the dirt. The Cataclysm walks him down, and he swag flag drags his way back to safety. Magnustorm for the re-engage from Salo. Can he get enough damage from Yami's Renekton to follow up on the engage? I don't think so. It's not going to happen anytime soon, because Random is here to escort the rest of his team out to safety, get some decent damage back into Yami. He really is trying to push this lead. You can sense the desperation in Next Generation's player models as they're going to send for potentially another engage again.
Dominus from Renekton tried to play a little bit aggressive, unfortunately couldn't get the engage and get the CC there, unfortunately, as Dignity was just slowly looking behind and trying to get an opportunity there to try and jump onto the Rumble or the Yone. But I like the aggression though overall from the jungler of New Generation. I think that you want to play aggressive. You want to try and put Final Wax behind. He was able to steal the blue buff in the end, but unfortunately he did die for it. But playing aggressive is kind of what New Generation need and what players need to do against the likes of Baguettes. They want to play aggressive. They need to try and play to their advantage and play super aggressive. So making sure that they try and at least because the problem is against Baguette is if you just give them free reign of the rift, they'll just be able to do whatever they want to, and you can't really do much about it. But if you're actually playing in the faces of Baguettes, and if you're the ones playing aggressive, then they actually need to make more decisions themselves. They need to be more decisive and, you know, be at the right place at the right time, which they were for that invade. But I still like the aggression in the end from New Generation.
Back to live here. Salo and Hess just trading initiation blows. No real fights breaking out from either of their abilities there. 20 seconds away from neutral objective spawning on the rift. Big item spikes coming in. Oh boy!
Man.
Well, that's a hell of a dive being accomplished by Final Wax and Random under the tower. And this Space Dragon, unfortunately, is not getting a chance to leave Earth anytime soon.
0-2 for the Aurelian Soul, and now it's Random running over this game on this Yone pick. Very, very, very crazy champion. When you can get ahead, it can be very scary. And there you go, another kill over to, I believe it was, Josh this time around actually got the kill. And now they're just playing super aggressive. And this is a 4 versus 5 this entire time as well, because they're just playing super aggressive. And meanwhile, Final X is just farming his jungle, by the way. It's a 4 versus 5, and Baguettes can still play this aggressive.
He has complete faith that his team is totally fine and that they are maneuvering out of these fights without his involvement. He even had Cataclysm available, so it's not like he couldn't contribute to the fights. He definitely could, but it's all about efficiency, Stuart. And if you believe in your team to get out of these situations without your involvement, that's more time that you're farming and the enemy jungler is not. And that has been the name of not just this game, but this entire series between Final Wax and Dignity.
Yeah, and just in all the games in general, I think just showing when you're farming through the jungle, the efficiency of when you're farming through the jungle. If you're focusing on ganking and if you're focusing on trying to get your laners ahead, if you're not able to at least get a few tower platings or get a few kills, then the jungler that's just going to farm is just going to get so much further ahead. And now, oh no, that's too much CC, isn't it? Oh, that's just one dead AD carry, unfortunately. And now the ensemble is going to be used on that bottom side, break through the bottom lane tower. Meanwhile, whilst this is all happening, Josh is actually pushing in the mid lane as well. Force the flash away from the Rel. now they're just diving in onto Rel and Estee.
Might have been a little too far forward for that one, because the rest of the reinforcements for Next Generation quickly supply the needed assistance Salo needed under that tower. The rest of the players from Baguette's trying to run away. Dandelion's going to have to give his life for the greater good. And Dignity does pick up another reset. But a great blade caller from My Little Pony does root a couple members from Next Generation, preventing them from continuing a dive under this tier 1 turret in the bottom side of the map. Next Generation able to claw back some kills, some gold back into their pockets, but still, it is a 6,000 gold lead that they have to somehow surmount.
And our gold lead is already very scary to deal with. You're seeing the jungle gold lead again, same as the previous game, but now it's this time the biggest lead is in that mid lane, Rafa, and Random has been able to pick up a few kills early on. Now has 2 items on this Yone, sorry. Now you can see the power of this pick and how scary you can be, because you have that safety net with Yone, which I feel like is just so powerful that you can just dash forward, deal so much damage, and then you're able to just jump back away to safety. It's like having a free flash every single time to get away to safety. You're dealing this free amount of damage, and now you can just jump away to safety. And yep, you're seeing that on the bottom side of this map as well, with the help of Heste. Killing spree now for Random in the side lane. And yeah, this just looks really scary now for Next Generation to try and close this one out.
Unfortunately, the only time to really punish a Yone is early on when he is too weak to fight back, especially in a 1v2 scenario, because Yone does become one of those champions with enough gold in his pockets. You try to send 2 people, you try to send 3 people, and through all the lifesteal, all of the attacks that he is able to whip out, it's just not enough. Dandelion could be in a world of trouble. That's a big pickup for Dignity from the side of Next Generation, continuing to put some gold into his own pockets, but the dive being secured by Baguette in the mid lane. That's 1 kill going down. Final Wax was trying to dive past the second tier turret, looking for the second one. Oh no, Dignity, that is not a fight you want to play for! He wanted to get resets, but in a 1v3, that is never going to happen, my guy. And Baguette say thank you very much for the free kill on the Viego's head, and that is now a 10,000 gold lead at 10 minutes, Stuart.
Yep, I mean, Dignity did well to get a pick onto Rumble on the top side of the map and was able to get a little bit of advantage, a little bit of gold under his pocket, and they tried to look for the flank in the mid lane. But unfortunately, when you just have so many members there like the Nautilus and the Yone, you have so much lockdown for this Viego that's so difficult to try and get one of the resets and get the potential of the possess in the end. And especially when your team is so far behind as well, how do you deal with such a fed Yone on the other side? 11,000 gold, over 11,000 gold now for the Yone. Now he's not even building any other crit items, he's just building death stars. Oh, look at that, he's just diving 1 versus 3 into the back line,
and he's got friends alongside him. Random is not going to be brought down anytime soon. The equalizer just couldn't do enough. Oh my god, Random, are you kidding me? S'il vous plaît, have some mercy on Next Generation. This is a brutal beatdown that we are witnessing right here in the final.
I got so much healing from the Death Defiance, going for that instead of the the Death Dance. Sorry, where'd I get Death Defiance from? I think it's a TFT item. I think it's a Death Dance. Sorry, yeah, but the Death Dance, him deciding to go for the item instead of another crit item, because sometimes you want to play, you want to get like Mortal Reminder as your 3rd item to get more crit, to get more damage, but him going for that Death Dance just gives him that survivability that he needs in these fights, and the extra healing as well, which he was able to do. 1 versus 3 into the backline, being able to survive was just absolutely insane.
Between Bloodthirster and the Quick Blades, you have enough damage, you have enough lifesteal, and you have enough essential cooldown reduction that you can just cycle through all of your abilities rapidly in those prolonged fights. Next Generation trying to look for a pick onto a couple members here. Random gets dropped below 50% HP, but here comes the re-engage. Final Wax still doesn't even need the Cataclysm. He already used it at the beginning of the fight. Massive knockup from Random. They are just bulldozing through every single last one of Next Generation squad. Not a single person can be brought down from the side of Baguette, and all in the meantime, Dandelion pushing through the bottom side of the base.
And again, a 4 versus 5 in the top side of the map goes in the way of Baguette, and they just have better hands than Next Generation, unfortunately. And you can see right now that even if Final Wax doesn't play these carry style junglers, they're just hitting the Nexus. At 13 minutes, they've got all 3 inhibitors down, Rafa.
They've taken pretty much every single structure left in the game, and it's just an exposed Nexus waiting for Baguette to strike down. It's not going to happen anytime soon, as Next Generation will have a moment to reprieve and look for one last Hail Mary to throw before Baguette take the series, take the circuit, and take Rift Legends battle in their own.
And they're ready for the showdown, Rafa. I think you can see it from these games. They're ready for the showdown. They breeze through this battle in the end, not dropping a single game. And yeah, I'm going to say, I mean, I don't think, you know, I think a 20,000 goal lead, sorry, is just way too big to come back from. How do you come back from a 20,000 goal lead? It would have to, you'd have to make so many mistakes. But as I was mentioning, I think this just shows that even if Final Wax doesn't pick a carry, there are still other players on this team that can be the carry, as Josh just flashes forward. He's okay. He's safe.
The inevitable is only moments away, Stuart. Baguette and Bryndza have walked through every challenge undeterred and unscathed. No opponent was even a close of a match as they could have been. Baguette and Bryndza are your Rift Legends battle champions.
And the French storm on top again. What a surprise. The French are just way too strong at this game, I guess. Like, they proved the bragging rights as one of the best countries and one of the best teams in EMEA, and they will move on to the Rift Legends Showdown next weekend, which is going to be an absolute blast. Next weekend is going to be great because there are so many different teams next weekend. Some of the best that EMEA has to offer. But yeah, this time around, the French are on top. MENA taking that second place, and then CIS and Spain wrapping up that top four in the end. But it's great to showcase just the different countries and the different regions in EMEA and what they have to offer as